This podcast is produced by the Harwood Productions Podcast Network. To learn more about the network and to find more of our shows, visit us online at www.harwoodpodcast.com.
Hi, I'm Cindy Harris. It's summertime and there's lots of great fruits and vegetables available. Welcome to the Farmers Market Gourmet. So today I'm going to show you something you can do with all those wonderful fresh berries that are coming into the farmer's market. It's this great rustic fruit tart. So we first have to make our crust, and we're going to start by putting 2 sticks of softened butter in a mixer and start getting that to cream up. And then I'm going to measure out a 1/2 cup of sugar and add that. Now you can see it's starting to cream together nicely, and once it starts coming together, then we're going to add a pinch of salt and 1 egg. Now this egg is going to make this crust almost like a shortbread cookie. It's so yummy. So go ahead and add that in, and this is going to need to incorporate a little bit because that's a lot of liquid in the egg. And then we're going to add 2 teaspoons of vanilla. And at this point, you could add some lemon zest or orange zest, but for this pie, I'm not. But then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to measure out 2 1/4 cups of flour. And I'm just going to stop my mixer, add the flour, and then put it on a low speed, and I'm going to let it mix just until the flour and the butter and everything comes together. And then I'm going to stop it, give it a final spin, and then get a piece of plastic wrap out, put all of the dough out on the plastic wrap, sprinkle a little flour on top, and then with your hands, you're going to sort of flatten it out to make sort of a disc. And then wrap it up with the plastic wrap. And now at this point, you could put it in the freezer for a month if you put it in a resealable bag, or just pop it in the refrigerator for about an hour. Now, once the hour is up, you're going to take your pastry out, let it sit for about 5 or 10 minutes just to kind of warm up, and then you're going to begin to roll it out. And you're going to want it to be in a circle that's about 10 inches in diameter. Now, as you're rolling, if you find that it's starting to crack a lot, then it means that you need to let it warm up just a bit more. But this dough rolls out pretty easily. So roll it out to about 10 inches in diameter, and then take your rolling pin and put the pastry back on the rolling pin. That's the easiest way to get it back onto your baking sheet. And you're going to want to use a rimmed cookie sheet or baking sheet that's got some parchment on it, because with berries there's a tendency for the filling to bubble out. So you want to make sure that you have some parchment down on a rimmed sheet. So just go ahead and roll that dough out, and then pop it in the refrigerator for just a minute while you're getting your berries together. Now for this pie, you can use any kind of fruit that you would like. I'm going to be using berries today, but you want to end up with 4 cups of fruit. Now if you're using bigger fruit like strawberries or peaches or apricots, you are going to want to cut those up into smaller pieces like this. But for the smaller fruits like the blueberries and the blackberries, you don't need to worry about that. You can just add those in, but you do want 4 cups of fruit total. And go ahead and put that in a large bowl. Now let's go ahead and we're going to put in a 1/2 cup of sugar. We're just going to sprinkle that on the berries. And to thicken your fruit, because summer fruits are so wonderfully juicy, we're going to use 1/4 cup of flour. And again, sprinkle that on top. Now, I always like to add the zest of something to my fruit pies. Now, I'm going to be using a lemon today. I could use a lemon and an orange, or just an orange, whatever you like, whatever you have on hand, but it does kind of brighten up the flavor of those berries. Then take a large spoon and very carefully toss the berries in with the flour and the sugar and the zest. The point is we want to get all of that dry ingredients stuck to those berries. You just want to be careful that you don't crush the fruit. And then get your pastry out of the refrigerator and just take your fruit and place it on top very carefully. And if there are any of the dry ingredients that didn't get mixed in, don't dump them in. Just get the fruit and whatever is stuck to the fruit, that will be fine. But we're going to put that on our pastry and then use your hands to kind of, get the berries kind of in a mound like this in the center of the pastry. And then you're just going to take the pastry and kind of fold it up and around the fruit, just like this. This is a very easy to work with dough. It's almost like Play-Doh in a way, so you can just kind of form it up. You can move the berries out of the way if you need to. It's supposed to be rustic and free form. But the point is you do want the pastry to come up over the berries a little bit. And then I like to make a little egg wash glaze to paint on top of the pastry. So for that, what you want to do is just get one egg in a little bowl with just a little splash of milk. It's not much. And then take your fork and kind of beat that all up till the egg and the milk is, nicely mixed up. And then just get some kind of little pastry brush. And what you're going to do is then paint just the pastry part. You don't want to get it on the fruit, but just the pastry part all around the edges. Then I like to take a little white sugar and sprinkle it on top of that egg glaze and pastry. It gives it a nice pretty finish to the crust. Now make sure your oven is on at 400 degrees because this is going to bake at a pretty high heat, and you'll pop it in the oven for about 30 minutes. And here it is. That egg wash gives it such a pretty shine. Now remember, you can use any kind of fruits for this tart, whether it's pears, apples, cranberries, berries, apricots, any combination thereof. So the next time you go to the farmer's market, see what kinds of fruits are in season and see what kind of rustic fruit tart you can put together. This is great with a sprinkling of powdered sugar or a big scoop of vanilla ice cream. Enjoy! Thanks so much for joining me today. You can go to our website at www.harwoodpodcast.com to find all the recipes for today's show. And also, if you have any questions or comments for me, go ahead and send me an email. I'll see you next time.